Hello and welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy, and governance. I'm Hamza Idris. And Friday's edition of the program is meant for you, viewers, to call and share your thoughts. A dedicated phone number will be made available for that purpose as the program unfolds. However, I have in the studio Jamilu Mohammed. He is an economic analyst and an author. Jamilu, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers.
Yes, and as expected, today is Friday. We are going to open the line. Yeah. Of course, our tidbits. President Bola Tinubu has approved the constitution of a committee comprising state governors and representatives of the federal government to explore the modalities for the establishment of state police. The modalities are to be discussed further at the National Economic Council.
Two issues have dominated these discussions: harmonizing tactics to arrest the spiraling insecurity across the country and strategies to crash the price of food items. Despite evidence to the contrary, Minister of Information says the president and state governors agree that there is a significant improvement in the security situation around the country.
The governors, including the governor of Plateau State, has also attested to the fact that despite all the challenges that we are having, there appears to be improvement in security in these areas. Of course, like I said, the situation has not been completely been solved. The security situation has not been completely solved, but we are seeing a positive movement towards a secure Nigeria.
But the level of insecurity is serious enough for the federal government to significantly shift its stand on state police.
This is still going to be further discussed. A lot of work has to be done in that direction, but both the federal government and the state governments are agreeing to the necessity of having state police. Now, this is a significant shift, but like I said, more work needs to be done in that direction.
But the government's biggest headache right now is the staggering prices of food. To this end, the National Security Advisor, the Director General of State Services, and the Inspector General of Police have been directed to coordinate with state governors to fish out those hoarding commodities. Despite the seriousness of the situation, the agreement at this meeting is that there will be no need for food importation at this point.
Nigeria has the potential to feed itself and even be a next exporter of food items to other countries. And we do not also want to reverse some of the progress we have seen in terms of food production in this country. What we are seeing now is just a temporary difficulty that will soon go away.
A lot of meetings will have to happen between the federal government and the subnationals to perfect the modalities of achieving state police. In addition to this, parties have agreed to set up a joint program to ensure that unemployment is reduced among the youth population to reduce insecurity at the roots. From State House, Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
And elsewhere, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, said the federal government will ensure that grains released from the food reserves reach poor Nigerians. Recall that on February 8, President Bola Tinubu directed the immediate release of 42,000 metric tons of assorted food items from the strategic reserves as a short-term response to the rising food prices in the country. Meanwhile, at a recent appearance in the Senate, the Minister of Agriculture said the current food shortage in the country cannot be unconnected to the inability of the last administration to make provision for wet season cultivation in 2023.
Minister of Agriculture and Food Security addressed concerns regarding food security, acknowledging challenges such as prohibitive cost of fuel hindering plant support initiatives for the 2023 wet season cultivation.
An exiting government, I don't want to say this much, but an exiting government did not plan to do the cultivation, wet season cultivation for 2023. I don't think there was any impact or any direct intervention by government against the 2023 cultivation. And that also impacted on the quantum of harvest that we had in 2023. Second phase of rice that we're just about to roll out now is being challenged as well in terms of oil, in terms of even inputs.
Governor Cardoso reiterated the importance of reducing dependence on the dollar and foreign goods to stem the free fall of the naira against the US dollar and other foreign currency. Nigeria's economic team remains steadfast in their commitment to navigating challenges and fostering sustainable economic growth. From the Senate, Sagir Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Yes, Jamilu, how did you make up these two tidbits? Maybe starting with the police. Are you an advocate of state police?
No, I am not.
Why?
I have never been an advocate.
Will you defeat the governors then?
Oh, well, I am technically and also structurally, I don't see the necessity of the state police. Technically, this is an indictment on the federal government because this is one of the items, one of the factors holding our federalism intact, security. If the federal government cannot handle security, it will now divest or give away security back to the states. It means it is giving away part of the responsibility of.
But some are saying it's actually the much touted federalism will be actualized with state police.
No, it cannot.
Okay.
You see, we have even failed to define our own federalism. We have an imploded or an exploded federalism. And we are trying to compare our own federalism with imploded federalisms, the like of US. You have states, independent states, who have come together and said, okay, we want to be together. That's an imploded federalism. In our own case, we had the Northern Protectorate, the Southern Protectorate, and the Lagos colony coming together and said, we called it amalgamation. And it was not even...
so the concept is different.
The concept is different.
People keep making comparison that in the United States, of course, they have different layers of police, even local government in some places.
Yes, it is so. You see, that exactly what I'm saying. You have the imploded federalism there. That's why they have that structure. In our own case, it is an exploded federalism. It started from the center. Their own started from outside and then imploded inside. And then they became one and said, each state is represented at the federal level by the same number of senators. And that's the same mistake we are making here. An imploded federalism, an exploded federalism in our own case, and we are still saying that each state would maintain the same number of senators. So I think we have mixed up the whole thing, I think, in this case. So what we are, the federal government has certain items it is holding in trust as a federal government. One of it is security. If you give it away, it means you are now telling us that Nigeria let everyone go his own way.
All right, we'll discuss this more. In 2022, Jamilu, there was a report that Nigeria had a total of 60,000 metric tons of grains. And just 2 days ago, the Minister of Agriculture said they are going to start the distribution of 42,000 metric tons of grains as promised by President Tinubu. And for free. Do we need free grains?
Well, we do not. In ideal terms, we actually do not need free grains or free food, freebies. We actually don't need them in clear terms. It will impact negatively on our economy, although certain economists will tell you that whether you give it free or you sell, as far as the issue of demand and supply is concerned, it will the difference in the impact will be little, because when you give it free, the people you are giving at would still not go to the market, and it will impact on the price. So the price would have to go down in the market. It will be the same when you sell, but When you sell now, you are making a certain income. Apart from the recoveries, the income recoveries you are making, you are also putting responsibilities on those people you sell to. But in our own case, we have a very dire situation case where people are finding it very difficult to feed themselves. And people don't even have the money. If people have money, you will say, okay, we have to sell. You see, the fundamental thing is the federal government has failed to structure the grain boards. When you have a well-structured grain board, economically and even socially, what you do is you control prices with your strategic grains.
Exactly, that is what happened. When we brought a certain chartered accountant here, he said, why not, instead of giving it free, which we have experimented, during Tinubu, maybe 2 or 3 times it had been experimented, but it didn't trickle down to the downtrodden. Why not crash the price maybe to say a bag of 50 kg of rice, which sells for 70,000 or more now? Why not crash it to 25,000?
How do you crash it? You only crash the
commodity market officials. No, not even the commodity. But if you go to Singapore, for instance, now, it will be easier if you now give it to the dealers and say, okay, just add profit of 5,000.
That will not happen in Nigeria. You see, when you give these people these grains, the grains will disappear. And the next time the next time the grains will appear, there will be thrice or 4 times the price. In this respect, I actually agree with the federal government. These grains should not go through the strategic markets. If the government wants to control the price, then the federal government should sell the grains itself.
But how can the federal government? Can it be everywhere?
Well, about everywhere, yes. You see, I am always surprised if there is something they say the government cannot do. This is very surprising. There is nothing a government cannot do for its citizens. That thing does not exist. So for government to deploy these grants and say, this is how we are going to sell. In the 1980s, we used to have certain cases like this where you have cooperatives. You can sell these grants through cooperative societies. It happened.
So it's like it's a dire strait now. Because if you look at rice, it's over 50,000. Sugar is over 50,000. Flour over 50,000. Yeah, they have crossed the threshold.
You see.
So, and Ramadan around the corner.
Yes. The same thing I'm saying. You see, if the federal government wants to do this now, why would you say you have 60, 70 these metric tons, and then you are cutting about 2/3 of it, and you are saying you are just pushing this into the market? If this is your own,
they will live around 18,000 or less.
You see, if this is your strategic reserves, strategic food reserves, I think that is reckless too.
But are they even telling the truth?
That is the issue.
Because I remember last year we conducted an investigation, and what turned out was not palatable at all.
You see, when you see what is happening in these offices, I have there was once a report about how some people went into these strategic reserves, stole the grains, and then at the end, because the new investigations were on the heels, coming after them, they simply put the silos on fire. See, Nigeria is a country, is a country where anything happens. Everything can just happen like that, and government will just close its eyes and will not hold anybody responsible, and things will just continue going like that. The whole problem is, the whole blame should be on government.
Okay, on government. Before you expatiate on that, I think we should call our viewers. Yes, viewers, you can join the conversation to read the phone number on your screen to share your thoughts on any of the 2 issues, state police and grain disbursement. But remember to keep your comments short and avoid foul language. Over to you. Why always taking the blame to government, General?
You see, we signed a social contract with the government. We came up with a constitution, and we said, government, we have given you fundamental issues to take care of: security, welfare, and if anything goes wrong, anything that goes wrong, it's you, not me. If I am responsible, I have given you the power to punish me. Then why? Why is that not happening?
So it's like a serious conundrum. You remember when Tinubu removed fuel subsidy, of course they announced palliative. Is it 100 trucks? Then 5 billion to states. Now, up till now, if you go and conduct vox pop on the street, majority of people will tell you that they didn't see the grain, they didn't see anything. Yes.
And nobody is asking questions. You see,
and that's why we're asking the question here. Maybe you will answer, and we hope that our viewers you also answer whether yes, repeating the same mistake again and again will actually take us out of the woods.
We have for long blamed the government. Things are not working. Now it's time possibly to blame ourselves. Through, if you will say representatives, but they are still in the government. Why? What is the job of our civil society organizations? I think our society is so knitted, so structured that if our representatives fail to do one thing, I think the civil society organization should step in.
Just the way Labour says they are starting. Of course. Okay, anyway, we have our first caller today in the person of Ilyasu from Gombe. Ilyasu, welcome to the program. Oh, sad. We lost Ilyasu, our first caller. Try and call again. We'll pick your call. Yes.
So I believe if the civil society organizations, if we have a very robust, strong civil society organization structure, I think that should fight for the ordinary man. Because what is happening now is our own representatives, they usually, when they go there, they keep quiet over these issues. Why? Because they are already into government, and possibly if some of these things are being channeled through them and the things are not working. You see, Nigeria is a very peculiar country. I sympathize with people in government sometimes. I have said it's difficult for me to be in government. It's very difficult for me to be in government because governing Nigeria, the Nigerian state, I agree, is a very tough and difficult situation.
Maybe because I'm not prepared for it.
Maybe.
Anyway, okay.
But those who are prepared for it, have we seen the results?
All right. Nuruddin from Kaduna, welcome to the program. Yes.
Hello?
Hello, Nuruddin. Yes, we are with you.
Yeah, good evening.
You are welcome to the program.
Yeah, good evening, I'm Idris and Guru.
Yes, we're happy having you. On which of the issues are you going to comment on? Is it the state police or grains?
Yeah, I think over Shanati for Akonga Nationality.
Okay, fine. So go ahead with your...
Yeah, I want to ask on this issue.
Okay.
That we are discussing the studio. The truth remains this. Nobody or any businessman is holding it in this country. I want to say this, I said this on this platform, that in my local government, business people went to the village to sell their goods. Nobody came to buy. And that was how they took the goods back home. Go to the market, you will see so many grains, but the problem is no money to buy. Even though the commodity is still there, but it's too high cost for people to buy. Before the inflation, things were okay in this country. Former President Jonathan wanted to remove the subsidy that he studied and refused. Former President Buhari wanted to do the same thing, but to observe carefully and stop it. President Tinubu came, he haven't got into the office to observe. He didn't do that, but he went ahead in his speech and announced the removal of subsidy. Since then, that was the genesis of this problem. Anything the federal government wants to do will not work except reduce the price of fuel in this country. Otherwise, this country will continue to persist. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right. Okay, fine. Thank you. Yeah, it's like people are really worried with the way the whole issue is being handled. For instance, the police, the state police, some have been saying it's actually a distraction by the federal government and the governors to take attention of Nigerians from the
real issues of hunger,
yes,
insecurity. Well, it may be, but again, it is very okay to suspect the government. I understand why Nigerians are actually suspecting government. People don't actually trust government. You see, this government, since inception, has deployed several programs, and almost 80 to 90% of the programs this government has deployed have negatively impacted on the nation, and we have not been able to recover. With each move,
we are going to
of course.
All right, we have another caller from Jos in the person of Yakubu. Welcome to the program, Yakubu.
I want to tell you the issue of police. Okay,
police. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, state police in Nigeria is something very, very difficult.
Okay. Why? Why will it be difficult to have?
Government establish their own police force. Hello?
Yes, I say, why is it going to be difficult to have state police in Nigeria? Why?
I don't know whether the police now will be subordinate to the federal ones, or we have two divisional police officers in each local government. We have that of the state, and we have that of the federal. And the governor of the state will be the CP, or will be the IG. And we are crying over a monument, that's the salary. 10,000, some said I was able to pay it. Some 30,000, I was able to pay it. Now when they increase the salary, where do they get the money to serving the police with the equipment and the arms? How will you control them? The government wants to use the same police to victimize the opposition. Once you are a governor, nobody will touch you again. If you see somebody who is very active, you will send him police to arrest him. For no reason, they go and hide him somewhere until after the election. We know Nigeria, surely. We know ourselves.
Okay, Yakubu.
When there is a case, you are escaping.
If I should ask you, what should be the solution? Yes, Yakubu, can you hear me? What should be the solution? What should be the solution to...
The solution is very good. The solution is let's equip the federal police with enough equipment and better welfare and employ more, because the number of policemen we have in Nigeria is too small. We are nearly 200 million. And we don't have enough policemen. Let them employ more, train more, give them equipment, give them welfare, take care of their families, and that is all. That is all we need. But when you do that, state police, I'm telling you the truth, they will cover all the federation. Now, if you are not an individual in the state and you have a problem, you better go to the federal. And everything when you have problem, you go into the state police.
All right.
What kind of country is that?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Yakubu. It's like he's on the same page with
100% I agree with Malam Yakubu.
He said, he started with the contradictions. Are you going to have two commissioners of police, one representing federal police?
And what is the rank structure of the state police? Would you have an IG of police in the state? I don't understand. You see, he has given the solution. Employ more policemen, recruit more policemen, train them, equip them, and give them better welfare. I think the solution is very simple.
He has provided a very big, good solution, and you are with him.
I'm with him, but 100%.
But how can this happen? Since there is this ego that, okay, the police as it exists now is federal, even though they are supporting them. Is it that they should have a pool?
It is not
maybe a certain pool where they will bring resources from this?
No, you see, the whole thing is happening because there's a failure of the federal police. There's a failure. If there's no failure, nobody will complain. People are complaining because there's failure. The state governments have found a loophole there. that the federal government has failed in its own duty, so let us now capitalize on that and then bring in certain issues. If the federal police were 100% doing well, nobody would have been complaining today.
All right, we have another caller from Borno State in the person of Mohammed. Welcome to the program, Mohammed.
Yes. I'm calling from Biu.
Okay, Biu, in Southern Borno. Welcome. Yes.
Yes, I want to add more about what Yakubu just said now.
Okay.
Actually, what they forgot to know that is we have a diversity of ethnic in various places. When you say you want to do the state police, majority, you find out majority of the tribe will be the part of the police. For example, a case of Fulanis in Plateau. Are they going to employ the Fulanis in the police, state police? And do you think they are going to be fair to the Fulanis? There are so many contradictions that will occur when police states come to exist.
So what should be the solution? What should government at the federal and state level do?
Yakubu has already said the solutions. Yakubu has already said the solutions. This is the only solutions. And to regard to the grain as the state area, the federal government has to take measures. The way they are going to sell the grains to individuals, but not following the channel of selling it or giving it to the businessmen. It will not work like that.
Okay. Are you saying, yes, Mohammed, are you saying that there is no need to give the grains for free, that they should crash the price and then sell it to people?
Yes, that is what I'm saying. That is it.
All right.
Actually, that is it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. Yes. On one part, you are on the same page with Mohammed because he aligns with Yakubu and your humble self.
Yes.
But on grains, he said, no. So still on the police, I mean, what is actually stopping government from beefing up the numbers? You know, if we are to go by what President Buhari actually suggested, is it meet into his first term?
It was not even a suggestion.
Yeah, directive. I mean,
it was a
directive. He was saying 10,000, right?
Yes.
10,000 every year.
Yeah, exactly.
By now, we will have recruited nearly 100,000.
Of course. And that wouldn't have been enough.
Of course, but it will have been an edge closer to the ideal.
To the ideal, exactly. I think we have to look at the standards. We don't even look at the standard. What is the number of police per population? This is the standard that we are supposed to go by. If we don't look at these standards, we will not get these things right. One police per 600 citizens.
Yeah.
If you say that, then you now say, what is the welfare of the police? What is the training of the police? You know, what is the structuring of the police? Which one is crime? Which one is civil? And so on and so forth. So this one is how, in fact, the structure of the police is well structured now. I don't think we need any restructuring of the police. The only problem we are having is the political will of government to now beef up the police and then bring it to sanity.
Yes,
I think this is...
Jamil, there is this figure in 2021 that states and local government, they spend over 375 billion in the name of security votes.
That is humongous. I think this is one of the problems. States would come in with this kind of issues in order to find a way of diverting resources. That's what is happening. I was speaking to somebody this afternoon about the issue of defending the Naira by the CBN, saying we have used so billion of dollars to defend. I say, you don't need that. You see, in Nigeria, people create this kind of scenario in order to find a way of diverting resources.
All right.
This is exactly what's happening in the case of the issue of security votes and so on and so forth.
All right, we have another caller from Jos, or rather from Plateau State, in the person of John. John, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Hamza.
Yes, we're glad to have you on the program. And what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts on police, state police. Okay. I actually concur with the restructuring of state policy because I believe it's going to help, in curtailing, the security issue, in the nation. For instance, I'm here in Plateau State. From within our community, I know people that reside within this community. So if there are police within the community, you take them within the community to go a long way, to help in defending your own community, because you know the people within that community. One of the caller, mentioned that's from Borno. He talks about, for instance, on the plateau, if we have, for instance, what's the state of the planning, people with regards to state policy. My own take here is, if there be state policy, it means the state governors have to be fair, to all, because there are communities where the planning people stay. So the federal government have to check those. The state government have to check those areas to be able to bring people from those areas. It's community. It's a community policy. So if anybody if anybody wants to cross to another community, they will be able to stop it. Okay. That's one. Then number two, with the issue of grants, my own take, on that, I concur that the federal government should be free of charge.
All right.
Those things, they should slide the price so that people can be able to afford it, so that it will not get to the dealers. Because one of the policy is, even material that we see written not for sale. Not for sale. You find them in a bookshop. People are going over there. So likewise, with the grain, if there's a proper ministry, it will go a long way, to help people to be able to access those grains, so that the dealers won't hijack, those stuff. So that it will get down to the dance project. That's my own take on that.
All right. Thank you very much, John. Yes, we hope to have you again. Yes.
Well, about still on the issue of crashing the price, you see, you have to be very strategic. Do you have the reserves to crash the price? Because by crashing the price,
now they are talking
want
about
to regulate
42,000
metric tons.
Yes.
If you have 42,000 metric tons, now we are in February, you would have up till say August.
Before the new harvest.
Before you start having the new harvest. For all these months, do you have the strategic reserves to go through this month?
So some are saying government should actually swallow its pride. During the meeting, they rule out importation. They said they should swallow the price. The pride.
It's not the issue of pride. Okay. In that respect, I am with the government.
They should not import.
They should not import.
You want people to die?
What you mean? We cannot feed ourselves? Is that what we are saying?
But now there is drought of sorts.
It's not a drought of sorts.
But you heard the Minister of Agriculture saying there was no.
That is very reckless. So I'm sorry to use that. That is on the side of the government. That is very reckless of the government to say that. You see, the government is telling us that the way agriculture is structured in Nigeria is that every year government would have to intervene before we produce. Is that a way to feed a nation?
Probably because of the attitude of government of not securing communities to be able to go to farms.
We still blame. No, it's not about security. Look, in developed societies, only 2% or even less than 2% of the society feed the nation. In most societies, that's what's happened. At most, you have 5% You see, the problem is we have even refused to develop our agricultural potentials. Look, we are still in rudimentary agriculture. When the world moved from rudimentary agriculture to mechanized agriculture, from mechanized agriculture to satellite agriculture, from satellite agriculture now to smart agriculture, all these three frames of advancements,
they are not in Nigeria.
They are not in Nigeria.
All right,
what's happening?
What is happening? Big question. We have another caller still from Plateau State in the person of Joseph. Welcome to the program, Joseph. Oh, sadly, we lost Joseph. Keep trying. We'll pick your call. Yeah. So we lost at the three.
You see, there was a time when the greater Russia, Soviet, when it was Soviet, there was a time they could not feed themselves. What Stalin did was he assembled his agricultural team, professors. He built an estate and then put them there, put soldiers to guard them and told them that, look, what I want you to do is to feed Soviet Union in 3 years. If you don't feed Soviet Union in 3 years, whatever happens to you, blame yourselves.
Wow.
And let me tell you, they fed Soviet Union in one single harvest.
When he put them in one?
Yes, when he put them in one.
Wow, okay.
They fed Soviet Union in one single harvest, and the next 2 years they were exporting.
Wow, okay.
So
we have another caller in the person of
serious on these issues.
Mohammed. Yeah, Mohammed, welcome to the program.
Welcome, sir.
Yes. Let's hear from you. Are you talking about state police or free grace for Nigerians?
About state police.
Okay, food security. All right, go ahead.
So the issue of state police should be set aside, please. Because
Mohammed, can you reduce the volume of your TV set so that we can hear you?
Okay, sir.
Yes, reduce the volume of the TV set and then go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that the issue of state police is not a problem of Nigeria now.
Yes.
Because most of the states are still depending on federal government. So for that, let's allow the federal government to equip the police with the equipment that to depend on the nation. But the issue of state police should be set aside, please. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Mohammed, for this contribution. He said states, they still rely heavily on federal government.
Yes.
Maybe he's referring to FAC, right?
Yes.
Federal allocation,
Yes.
VAT,
Yes.
and all that.
Yes.
And we did a story, not quite long, I think within last week, that up till now, you know, many states are unable to even start paying the 30,000 minimum
so-called
wage.
minimum wage.
Yes. So maybe creating state police will be akin to overburdening the limited resources.
Let me tell you, the resources are not limited. I don't want to see it that way. You see, I think what we should say is the political will to do that is not there.
Okay.
Even with the so-called limited resources, the states would still be able to handle their own indigenous or their own citizens, the welfare of their own citizens. So the same thing that is happening, that they have the resources and they are not able to take care of the welfare of their citizens, will still happen to the state police. They will just have a few people who they will just pay, and then they will say, do our bidding. And then they will
and
do
maybe
the
by then
bidding.
they have given them arms. And if they can't pay them, they now use that as license.
And the next thing, if a state is controlled by party A and the federal government by party B, the state police in the state police would now be fighting with the federal police because they belong to different parties. See, I think the structure is poor.
All right. We have a caller from Jigawa in the person of Rabiu. Welcome to the program, Rabiu.
Hello?
Yes, Rabiu, we are with you.
Are you hearing me?
Very well, yes. What are your thoughts? Welcome.
Well, the issue of state policing. I want to talk about the issue of state policing.
Okay, go ahead.
The problem with this issue of the state policing is that they do it deliberately in order to disintegrate the country.
Yes, we are with you, Rabiu.
Exactly.
All right.
Yes, because the federal government has everything to control all the security issues in the country. But they fail to do it in order maybe to disintegrate the country into communities. That's the only barrier.
All right. Thank you very much. Jamilu, something we are actually not looking at is the technology aspect. Don't you think, instead of talking about human interference, if state governments and the federal government will also invest heavily in technology?
Technology and training. I think in the case of police, you have to have technology and training.
Because, what I'm saying is, if you have adequate technology that you can deploy, maybe one technology can do the work that maybe 300 policemen would.
And in that case, you will still be talking about the rest of the people. What do you do with them? Now, this comes back to the basic issues of our education system. You see, you have to now make people, give people enough education or basic education in the first instance before now giving them certain jobs. If you deploy these technologies you are saying, how many of these policemen will be able to use those technologies? It will still have to take a lot of training for them to adapt to these technologies. Even the basic technologies now, if I'm coming with my car and there is a police patrol, in fact, police are not even supposed to be stopping everyone and be checking. We have passed that era. What you do is you have to have a database. Once a vehicle is approaching, just from the plate numbers, or maybe you would have even beamed
I can see even VIOs now.
They have started doing something like that.
Will ask for your papers. Once you park, they just use their phone.
Yes.
The phone.
Sometimes they even watch you from afar. They will be able to read your number. They will input it, and they say, okay, this man's particulars are expired, and so on and so forth. So I think that would definitely do, and it still boils down to what? Employ more, then train, improve their welfare, and then deploy them. I think we are still going. Is as simple as ABC. There's nothing difficult with that.
Jamilu, state governors are still being accused of having undue influence over federal police as we speak now, because they can ask commissioner to deploy to certain area
because the police is not well equipped.
At the center.
Yes, if the police is well equipped, the police is supposed to work hand in hand with.
Why is it not well equipped? Can we rule out corruption? Because look at you have the police, of course. There is budget there. You have the police trust fund, which is meant to augment some of the things that will be done by the Inspector General of Police, right? Up till now, we were talking about equipment, we were talking about training, we were talking about even torchlight in some instances, boots for them, barracks.
Failure of leadership. Basically, this is it. Failure of leadership. If the leadership wants to do all these things today, give it 6 months, the Nigerian police would be all different. So I think the problem is from the leadership. All these funds we have, of course, the whole of Nigeria itself is not poor.
But
why are we hungry now?
That we are exaggerating the wealth of Nigeria.
We are not exaggerating the wealth of Nigeria. Actually, we have even refused to explore more of the wealth of Nigeria. Nigeria has no business to be poor, I'm telling you. In fact, Nigeria has the business of paying even the unborn child. Nigeria has that capacity. The mineral resources we have, the capacity, our economic capacity has surpassed, in fact, I would say the whole of Europe.
Wow.
Yesterday, I was looking at the statistics, the issues of GDP, the issues of mineral resource capacities. Why is Europe living on taxes? Nigeria has no business living on tax.
We can live on other things.
We can live on other things.
Okay, we have a caller from Bauchi in the person of Ahmed. Welcome to the program, Ahmed. And quickly, what are your thoughts on state police and free grains?
Thank you very much. My comment on the issue of state policing is that we have to be extraordinarily careful.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, we are with you, Mohammed. Ahmed, sorry, yeah.
So that we cannot dig our graves by ourselves. If we can look into these state governments, a lot of them cannot be able to pay their salaries because of gratuities. How do you imagine you train somebody, you give him a gun, but you cannot pay him a salary? What do you expect him to do? So we have to be extraordinarily careful on this. My advice is for us to restructure the federal policing so that more numbers will be added, and even if it means they will employ some people like informers within the local communities so that they can be having information on how they will go about their operations, so be it.
All right.
And the issue of grains.
Yes.
I think the issue of subsidizing does not even arise on the issue of importing. But rather, it is better for us to look into our fourth issue, because the major problem is from the value or the purchasing power of our currencies. We are too much relying on these IMF and other international decisions. This is what is where it is leading us to a wrong path.
All right.
As far as we continue going by this present product, where day in, day out, the dollar is appreciating, we will continue to be in problem.
Thank you very much, Ahmed.
Most of these commodities or products or goods that we use to import from other countries are they all from America?
All right. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Ahmed. Yes. Maybe we should quickly wrap up your final thoughts.
Okay.
What should government do on the grains and on
even before what the government should do? I think this present government has come with an agenda of weakening the center.
Okay.
That's what I think from what is
there
happening.
Are indications.
There are indications that the government is trying to weaken the center, possibly
to strengthen the...
Well, it's not about strengthening. Maybe giving the advocates of, say, we don't want one single Nigerian entity, big Nigerian entity like this. We don't want it that way.
That is a very big question now.
Yes. Let me give you...
Finally.
You see, we will say state police. This thing has been... There is a question mark on that by people who say, no, we don't want state police because that's a way of balkanizing Nigeria. Then now we go back to certain actions of the government in the recent past. They said part of CBN, go back to Lagos. FAN, go back to Lagos. And just yesterday also, we learned that upstream, the former DPR, go back to Lagos. So this is weakening the center.
And maybe that's why they are not concentrating on
the government. What the government is trying to tell us is that the center is too big for us. Let us just find a way of going to hide behind.
Maybe
I think
we
this
will
is
come
what
back
is happening.
for another conversation around this. Jamilu Mohammed, thank you very much for your informed perspective.
Thank you.
And we have to have you again.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we thank Ilyasu from Gombe, Nuruddin, Kaduna, Yakubu from Jos, Mohammed from Borno, John and Joseph from Plateau, Mohammed from Taraba, Rabiu from Jigawa, and Ahmed from Bauchi for calling. And viewers, we thank you very much for being with us. And this brings us to the end of the program, which we hope you found engaging and informative. Rest assured to join Daily Politics, airing every weekday, and our special package on Friday, during which we open the telephone line for you to comment on national issues, as we did today. Join us next week for another interesting package of the program. Bye-bye for now. I'm Hamza Idris.